Coming up now is Kiara Burroughs, who will be talking to Jamila. Take it away, Jamila.
Welcome to the program, Kiara Burroughs. It is a delight to have you.
Thank you for having me, Jamila. We're excited to be here.
So we are going to have a conversation that, unfortunately, I would argue more women need to be having. Uh, Many women experience fibroid issues, but Black women tend to have them more severely. And there are treatment disparities where we don't seem to be treated as well. Uh, about a quarter of Black women between or younger than the age of 35 suffer from fibroids. By the time a Black woman is 50, that number rises to about 80%. That's significant. But first of all, let's just define our terms and talk about the work that you do. So the White Dress Project, who are you? Y'all focus on fibroids in Black women. In what way?
Yes, so the White Dress Project was founded in 2014, and we're a 501c3 organization that focuses on raising global awareness about the uterine fibroid epidemic. And so we do that through research, advocacy, community, and education. So you'll see a lot of the programming and efforts that are done by our organization is to help raise that awareness and help to support people who are managing life with fibroids and to ultimately march towards finding a cure for the condition.
So this isn't just a national issue. It's an issue that women around the world face. Uh, can I imagine you focus mostly on women here in the States, but can you talk about advocacy beyond?
Oh, yes. I know that we had an event in South Africa at one point. We have women who reach out to us from all over the continent, frankly, and women in the UK, especially. We had a research survey that we did earlier this year. It's still going on now, and we're seeing a lot of responses, especially from women around the globe who are really benefiting from some of the programming and marketing that we've been doing to spread more awareness around this issue. So, yes, you're right. This isn't just something that's happening at home. We're seeing women all over the globe deal with this. And as you mentioned earlier, it's particularly we're seeing a disparity with Black women who have a greater history of having this condition and also have harsher outcomes coming out of treatments and a greater likelihood of having hysterectomy. So yes, our focus is women all around the world.
Let's talk about that disparity in treatment for just a moment. Overwhelmingly, the treatment options offered are hysterectomy and the like, surgery. There are some innovative kinds of techniques, uterine fibroid embolization, and other techniques, some of which are pioneered at Howard University. Um, I'm not an alum. I just read a lot. Um, get- when we recognize that so often a woman will go to her doctor and the doctor will say, okay, well, let's surgically treat. Is that really the best standard of care? What are your thoughts around what women are offered and what they should be offered, rather?
Right. So at the White Dress Project, like we always encourage our audience to be their own advocates. So before you're going into that doctor's office, take the time to research the condition as much as you can on your own so that when you're going into the doctor's office, you can ask informed questions about your treatment. We have heard stories many times where women go in and the first thing they're being offered is a hysterectomy. And there are plenty of other treatment conditions. Like you said, there's uterine fibroid embolization, there's medication, there's myomectomies, there's other less invasive options that women may be able to explore depending on where they are in their fibroid journey. And that may allow them to preserve their fertility and maybe have a less invasive option to treat this. So, yes, I encourage women, and we overall at the White Dress Project encourage women to be their own advocates, go in, do your research, ask the right questions to your doctor. And if you feel that you're being dismissed, then it probably is in your best interest to seek another medical provider, because you do not want to end up in a situation that you didn't have to be in. So the first step is to make sure you're educated going in so that you know what you're dealing with when you're talking to your doctor.
So often this is a woman's issue, a private issue, an issue that can bring shame, an issue that can bring embarrassment and discomfort, and not just experiencing it, but talking about it. How are you helping women to share their stories and connect in a way that allows them to not just be heard, but to help other women recognize that they're not alone, and perhaps their instinct of how their treatment options are being offered might not be the best for them?
Right. So you could easily visit like one of our social media pages on any day, and you'll see us sharing a patient story. We have women who write into us all the time, sharing their stories and how our content has helped them to feel more empowered to share their own stories. And some of our programming, like our empowerment brunches, like our White Dress Cares program, really allows our audience to get in front of people and share what their stories are. And it's really important that women share their stories, because once you share what you've been through, it really creates a platform for other people to come forward. And it really helps others to realize they're not alone in this journey. And that's what the white dress really symbolizes for our organization. We like it to symbolize hope. We know that there is a lot of embarrassment that can come with this condition, particularly when women are symptomatic. So we want them to know, one, they're not alone, and two, we're all in this together, and hoping that we can wear white again confidently someday. So yes, sharing stories are very important to us.
Okay, now, Kiara, you said brunch, which is one of my favorite words in the English language, and you mentioned other events. Make sure everyone knows how to get in on the brunch. Also, tell us about the fundraisers and how you use that connection and help women who are experiencing fibroids, and we who might know women who are experiencing fibroids. And if 80% of Black women by the age of 50 do, that's pretty much everyone I can count.
Right. And plenty are dealing with it that people don't even realize. So yes, our empowerment patient brunches, we started doing those last year, and we've really seen great success. We just had one last week in New Orleans during Essence Festival. We're having one this weekend in Boston, and we'll have more coming up this year. So please follow us online or join our mailing list. You can see the announcements about that. And our biggest event this month is our empowerment experience, and that's happening next week in DC on July 15th through the 17th. So during that time, we'll actually be having an empowered patient luncheon, but the concept will be similar, where we're bringing in healthcare providers, mental health experts, folks in government to come in and hear what patients are going through and answer questions about what they're doing to help advance research in the space. So yes, plenty of programs out there. The best way to find out more about them is to visit us on thewhitedressproject.org, and you'll see all of our programming listed there.
Absolutely. So, Kiara, I want to give you the last word here. In terms of brunching, we'll figure that out. We will. I'm sure there's a calendar where we can find out, because not everybody went to Essence Fest and got to brunch with you there. But um, what do we need to take away? What do we still need to be sharing that can help advance awareness? But also, once people are aware, it's time to take some action. What do we want folks to know and do to better support and encourage better treatment options for uterine fibroids?
Yes. So the first thing, if you're suffering from uterine fibroids, share your story. Make sure that people know that you're dealing with this. I think that a lot of folks don't realize that other women and people in their lives are dealing with this issue because they're not talking about it. So that's the first step. We have to use our voices to talk about what we're going through so that people know about it. The second, in terms of advocacy, we have the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Act. Like, write into your congressman, encourage them to get involved to help to pass this act that will help to fund more education and research around uterine fibroids to help us march towards a cure. And then the last thing I'll say, and most importantly, consider getting involved with organizations like the White Dress Project, where you can help put on programming, actually share your story on a larger platform, and attend our events like our brunches, like our empowerment experience next week, to gain more information as you move forward in your fibroid journey or support others who are on their journeys as well.
All right. Now I just want to point out, because the policy wonk in me loves that you brought up legislation. HR 2007, the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Uterine Fibroid Research and Education Act of 2021. It seeks to provide federal money with respect to education and research on uterine fibroids. And that is definitely something that everyone can call his, her, their congressperson, unless you live in DC and you don't have any about. So I want to thank you so much for being with us today, Kiara.
Thank you. Have a good day.
It has been a real delight. And I want to get my co-host today, James.
Well, thank you to Kiara, and outstanding presentation. And